Very interesting piece in the New York Times by Shane Goldmacher over the weekend. It was on Sunday. How Donald Trump has remade America's political landscape. And here are a couple highlights from it. One of the clearest ways to see how he's transformed the political landscape is to look at what we're calling the triple trending counties in America. Those of it that have steadily marched in each party's direction in the Trump era. The results are stark. All told, Trump has improved every single election in 1,433 of the nation's 3,100 counties. Even as he lost in 2020, he was improving his margin in these 1,400 counties, almost half of the counties. Democrats have expanded their vote share continuously in 57 counties. So Trump has done steadily better in 1,433, the Democrats in 57. Look at all this red for the listening audience. It's a map of the United States covered in red. Just you take a red can of paint and you throw it at an empty map of the U.S. and you'll see that. The blue looks like a couple of chicken scratches that, like, if you gave a rodent and told it to run across the United States and make a mark wherever it could, you might get the same result. Like, I can count the number of blues I'm looking at, and it's just a couple. Of the 1,433 triple trending Trump counties, only 3 had a median household income above $100,000. Only 3. It was the opposite for the Democrats. 18 of the 57 triple trending Dem counties had an income over $100,000. And in not one of the triple trending Trump counties did a majority of adults have a college degree. The opposite is the truth for the Democrats. Trump has entirely remade the Republican Party into the party of the working class, and the Democrats are throwing money at how to speak to men.
It's so amazing. And not just because a lot of the journalists sharing this article were the people who tried to cancel me for saying this exact thing in 2020. So if you knew this 5 years ago, it was a cancelable offense. Now they're finally coming around and admitting it. And the maps there, I really encourage people to look at them. The 3 categories that were most represented in these triple counties that have been moving towards the right, towards the Republican Party under Trump, are Blacks, Hispanics, and as you said, Megyn, people making under $100,000 a year. This used to be the Democrats' stronghold because that is the working class right there. And when Trump first won in 2016, they said, oh, he won the white working class, but the trend had already started. Donald Trump, they call him divisive, but what he actually did was reveal the division between the elites and the multiracial American working class, who are very united around the things that Donald Trump is offering, which is socially moderate positions on social issues, anti-war on foreign policy, and protectionism when it comes to economic policy. A real idea, a theory of the case for how to actually improve the lots of the working class, not the elites. And this is the real reason that I believe the Democrats hate him with so much gusto, is because he was the first president in 60 years to improve the lot of the working class more than he improved the lot of the elites. And in the last 100 days, you have seen that on steroids. This man is laser focused on how to improve the lot of the working class. And this is why I think it's really important that they take seriously this idea that the president has floated to raise taxes on the rich. Not just because this is wildly popular with the working class, it's also very popular with Republican voters. And my God, Megyn, can you imagine making every single Democratic politician vote against raising taxes on the rich because it was Donald Trump who proposed it? This would help balance the budget, and it would signal the truth.
I don't agree with that. I don't think it would help balance the budget. I really don't. Like I'm old school Republican on this issue. The so-called rich are the job creators and the small businesses who file and look like individuals in their filing, and they get pinched. I mean, I'm one of them. I have a small business, and if my taxes get raised by 5% on top of what they already are, somebody's probably going to lose a job, or somebody's not going to get hired for a job. And I'm just one small business owner. But my brother, he runs he just sold it, but he had an engine company down in Atlanta, and he got hit repeatedly. And every time, the business owner's not going to take it on the bottom line. They're going to lay people off, or they're not going to hire. And we've seen that time and time again. That's why these Republicans are giving Trump a hard time. I know it sounds good on paper. I know tax the rich is favorable. But what you're really talking about is taxing the job creators, and they will not be the ones to bear the cost.
Well, I think they should keep lowering the corporate tax rate. So for businesses, the business itself, which is hiring people and giving people jobs, that should be, I think, as Trump was saying, anybody who's doing that, creating jobs within America, yeah, that should be totally slashed to incentivize that. But I think when you talk to regular people and you tell them, well, people in the top tax bracket, the idea would be to raise their taxes from 37% to 39%. The idea that this is not something that a party devoted to the well-being of the working class should consider seriously. I think it's not the kind of, it's the kind of thing that maybe it gives Democrats certainly ammunition to further the lie that Trump and the GOP are not serious about this as an agenda.
I agree with that. Politically, it sounds great to tax the rich, but it's just not. The rich already pay the vast majority of taxes. They pay the 1% pays almost all taxes in this country. The top 10% do pay all of the taxes. And it's like, okay, it sounds like 37 to 39, but really on top of that, plus your state taxes, you're pushing over up to 55% potentially of your income. And the people who get pinched are the people who generally have a salary paid to them. People like Trump, who are real estate barons who know how to hide money and claim losses that may or may not exist. They don't pay it. I spoke with this big real estate baron in New York City a couple of years ago, not Trump, who said he's never paid taxes in his life. He's never had to because they have these portfolios that can move it around, these alleged losses. So it looks like they didn't earn anything when they did. But it's people who get a hefty paycheck through their own hard work, who have to pay upwards of 55% in taxes, who get pinched when you do that. And it's just like, do you want to talk about fairness? It's like those people tend to be very hardworking people. Why should they have to pay another 2 to 3% of their income to support people like the Medicaid guy you just mentioned, who is just sucking up the government dole, not fucking working? Like, no. So I will make the defense of the so-called rich because they already pay so much. And not one of us wants to entrust government with more of our money. And I don't care whether it's Trump, Biden, J.D. Vance, or Rahm Emanuel. That's how I feel.
I hear that. I have been talking to a lot of people, and I think this has really influenced my thinking on it. Working class people like truck drivers and janitors and people who stock shelves for a living, who have been very supportive of the president's tariffs agenda. And when I say to them, well, what if it raises prices? What they'll say to me is, this one truck driver said so eloquently. He said, wait, so you're telling me that I'll pay a little bit more for things now, but my children will have a better future, better job options, be able to achieve the American dream in a way that I couldn't. And you think I'm going to turn that down? My whole life is about sacrificing for my children. And I hear this so often from people who have so little. And so I think this is really what Trump is pushing, is this idea that we're kind of all in this together.
This July, there is a global summit of BRICS nations in Rio de Janeiro. The bloc of emerging superpowers, including China, Russia, India, and Iran, are meeting with the goal of displacing the U.S. dollar as the global currency. They're calling this the Rio Reset. As BRICS nations push forward with their plans, some worry global demand for U.S. dollars will decrease, bringing down the value of the dollars in your savings. While this transition, if it happens, would not happen overnight, the Rio Reset could mark a pivotal moment. So learn if diversifying your savings into gold is right for you. Birch Gold Group can help you move your hard-earned savings into a tax-sheltered IRA in precious metals. Claim your free info kit on gold by texting MK to the number 989898. With an A-plus rating from the Better Business Bureau and tens of thousands of happy customers, let Birch Gold arm you with a free, no-obligation info kit on owning gold before July and the Rio Reset. Text MK to the number 989898 today. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.